Um, the you did one of the riskiest things in wrestling, and I'm not talking about any of the on-camera stuff necessarily. You put your wife at the time on the road and on camera with you. Many wrestlers were probably saying, "Are you insane?" What was it like traveling and working with Nancy all the time? It's hard enough to make a marriage work when you're a wrestler and they're not on the road with you. Did it exponentially challenge you?
Oh, without a doubt, it was the biggest mistake I ever made. But the thing was, we were separated about 6 to 8 months before the divorce came. I
Right.
was living in the Keys. She was living in Daytona. So it was very difficult. And I would recommend it to anybody for sure. But I see now where the mistakes were made on both sides. So and I'm like Kevin, I don't look back.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
if you look back, it's like Satchel Paige said, don't look back, something may be gaining on you. You just
Right.
got to go take it day by day and go
Yeah,
forward.
it's just, I remember asking Kevin a long time ago on camera. I said, "My God, you've been married so long. What is the key to a successful relationship in wrestling?" And he said, "Keep your wife off the pirate ship." And you built the pirate ship with your wife next to you. So I'm just that it was uh, quite a task to undertake. You were both successful. I mean, she was
But
great.
I was around Kevin and Nancy. I remember one time that's when we had the infamous, like, I don't get the fucking Oz gimmick, and we were sitting there in a Holiday Inn at the round table in front, and it was one of those fucking the old Holiday Inn motor lodges where we're on the second floor and you walk out your steel door and you're fucking outside. We had the fucking drapes wide open, fucking TV on, light on, sitting there fucking smoking a fucking joint and handing it back and forth. The three of us are sitting there talking. And that's when Kevin said, just take the fucking money, man. Like, it doesn't need to
Yeah.
make sense. Just take the fucking money. Like, you've already signed the deal. Just take the fucking money.
Nancy was so loved, Kevin. I'm in the ECW book, Todd is God. She was there for quite a while with Todd and those guys. After you left, you had gone back to WCW, and she finished up there for a while. And they just all the guys loved her so much. She was a sister and a mother all at the same time to them. Just a real lady in the business. Now she carried a blade in her boot. She probably never had to use it because she was just such a lady. She was so universally loved.
Yes, she was, without question. I mean, you'll never hear me say a bad word about her.
Yeah. Yeah. We got another question here from what do we have? I think it's Peter. I think Peter. You waiting, Peter, to ask? Let's see. It is Peter.
Hey guys.
Peter Ragazzino, a Jew.
Hey, good pronunciation, Sean.
Thank you.
Good to see you guys. Real quick, and I got a quick question. I just want to do a quick put over. It'll lead into the question. Big fan of you, Sean, and the kayfabe commentaries throughout the years. I've
Thank you.
got a lot of great wrestling knowledge from you and your guests, and I think you're a great host.
Thank you.
And to go along with your amazingly intelligent co-host and his guest, Kevin and Kevin, I have to say that's something I do respect about you two guys. Is I think that you're two of the most intelligent men in the wrestling business.
Thank you.
And I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Indefinitely, huge 83 Weeks fan. And Kev Sullivan, I've seen pretty much every shoot you've done, and you're just a brilliant. You're both brilliant, sharp guys. And basically, my question is that you're so intelligent and quippy with a lot of these phrases. Where did you pick a lot of that stuff up? Was that just from a lot of the older guys? Was that from where you grew up?
I think I picked it up from all the guys I was around. And thank you for saying both of us were intelligent. I think that of all the things Kevin has, it's his intelligence that drove him to the top.
Well, I think it's the same with you. I mean, there's a reason why, like, there's nobody that doesn't. I don't know where the fucking the phrase "and the valley of the blind, the one-eyed man is king." I don't know where that comes from, except you. But
I think
I've said it a million fucking times. You know, so it's just like, to me, I've always looked at you as almost like a prophet, like, because you always, like, with the purple haze, and like, it was almost like, I remember when I was young and I was going to drop acid for the first time, and there was this older guy that was in the group, and he said, "You really got to watch out about dropping acid, because whatever you see when you drop acid can't be unseen. So if you're going to take this trip, realize, man, that you may go someplace you don't want to go, and there ain't no taking it back. It's fucking ingrained in your shit." And I still fucking dropped a couple fucking hits of blotter, and he was right. There was some fucking, and I know T dropped some fucking acid, and he also did some mushrooms. And I remember Tristan was very unreligious, almost to the point of fucking being an atheist. And he dropped some mushrooms, and like 5 grams. And he came to, and I knew they were safe. They were upstairs. It was him and his friend, his bandmate, his best friend. And he came down like 12 hours later, and he said, and he just walked, and he stood in the back of the couch, and he was just looking at Tamara and I. And I said, "You all right, man?" He said, "I don't know if it's God or what it is, but there's something more than this." And he just turned and walked upstairs. And I just took it at that. And I was just like, wow. And then when he passed, I started sleeping in this room. And on the top of his door, in his handwriting, on the back of his door, it says, "I love Jesus Christ." He's never been religious a day in his life. So when we had some people in the house, and I told him, I said, "Listen," I said, and there's a couple other phrases, on the back of his door that he'd written. He'd written like a poem. And I told the guys that were painting the room, I said, "Whatever you do, man, don't." I said, "There's a couple of holes in the back of the door where you fucking, you throw knives and shit, crazy shit." I said, "Patch the fucking holes, paint where those are." I said, "But don't fucking don't paint over any of his writing." And I just think that when I was with you, sometimes when you get into the business like I did, and you have, like, you had been in the business for so long, and then they put us especially when they put us together, and you were my mentor. But we tagged before that,
right.
when I was just a fucking jabron. Like, for some reason, our energy kept connecting. They kept putting us together, and I always learned so much every time I was with you. And then later, when my son, when we came down to the Keys, and you took the boys out snorkeling, and it was the hottest fucking day on earth in the Keys, and it was like, T came back and he wanted to know more about you, so he went and Googled all of your, like, crazy barbed wire death matches, and he was just like, like, "Dad, like, Kevin had like a fucking spike, and this fucking he's busting this guy's head open." T was like probably 10 was when he was at your house. He was
Yeah.
young, and but I'm kind of talking in circles because I'm stoned, but
It's fun to watch.
yeah. But anyway, it was just,
But
but T looked at it the same way, like Kevin was like it was a prophet. Like, he just Kevin just fucking knows.
Kevin's word, the thing about Sullivan and that it plays into the prophetic thing. We're talking about him like he's not here, but the thing is that his words are a premium. He's not big on chatter. I would imagine I've never been booked by him. Well, no, that's not true. I'm going to tell a story later, but I was never in a locker room booked by him. But I'd imagine it's like working with a film director that doesn't over talk. He doesn't over direct you. He doesn't micromanage the scene. Everybody's supposed to know what they have to do, and he gives you the nuggets of wisdom to pull you along. Just enough spokes on the ladder, not the whole thing, enough spokes to pull you along.